So I have talked to you about the condition of, I have talked to you about Belgium. I have talked to you about, discussed about Sri Lanka. So while discussing with Sri Lanka, as I have told you that the Sinhala people were in a majority and Sinhala was going to be made the official language. Yes, very, very good. Very, very good. They demanded for Tamil Eelam. Tamil Eelam means a separate state for the Tamils in Sri Lanka. You will, whenever a question comes that what do you mean by Tamil Eelam, then you will have to write the answer in this way. It was the demand of the Tamils in Sri Lanka, that it was a demand for a separate state for the Tamils in Sri Lanka, not in India. In India, Tamil Nadu is a separate state for them, but they were demanding for a separate state in Sri Lanka. Now, now we have seen the different models of power sharing. One in Belgium we have seen, and one we have seen in Sri Lanka. Now the question comes that why is it important to have power sharing, or why do we need power sharing, or why is power sharing desirable? Now, power sharing, what happens whenever there is power sharing, there is less of social conflicts. Why? Social conflicts, why? Because in the society we have several social groups. Social groups means groups divided on the basis of language, religion, caste, race. So if you give power to all these groups individually, there will be no conflict for power among these kinds of social groups. So the first important point why we need power sharing is that it reduces the chances of social conflict within the country. And the second point why we need power sharing is that the more of power sharing, the more of democracy. Why? Because more and more people are getting involved in it. So if you have more of people within the administrative process, you will say that yes, more and more people are there and more people are consulted, so more of democracy. So I can say in one words that due to power sharing, the spirit of democracy remains very alive, or it is very active when there is power sharing within the country. Now we will discuss about types of power sharing. Types of power sharing. First one is horizontal. Horizontal power sharing. You know that the government, above everything in the country is the constitution. Below the constitution you have the government. The government is made up of three parts. It's not visible. The government is having three parts or three organs: legislature, executive and judiciary. Clear? When we say horizontal power sharing, it means that the constitution of a country, it gives or it mentions clearly the power of the three organs of the government. That means the legislature has the power of, it has the function of lawmaking. The executive has the function of implementation of the laws which are made by the legislature, and judiciary has the power of interpreting and adjudicating the laws of the laws which are made. So you see, it is going in a horizontal line. This is known as horizontal power sharing. Horizontal power sharing means power sharing between the three organs of the government. Next you have vertical power sharing. This is mainly found in a federation like India. Here you are having two sets of government. First of all, you have the central government. You have the central government, And this central government, you know, enjoys, the constitution gives the most important powers to the central government. The central government is the most powerful if it is a federation, the central government holds the most powerful position. After that you have the state government. Under the central government you have the state government, and under the state government you have the local self-government, and powers of each of the government are clearly specified within the constitution. You see, it's going in a vertical manner. This power sharing is going in a vertical manner from top to bottom, and this is known as vertical power sharing. So first of all, what did I tell you? What form of power sharing? First I told you about horizontal power sharing. Horizontal power sharing means amongst the three organs of the government. Then you have vertical power sharing. Vertical power sharing means among the three levels of government found in a federal country. And then you have third form of power sharing is actually sharing of powers amongst, just before some time I have told you, the various social groups. Sharing of powers amongst the various social groups within the country, like social groups divided on the basis of language, divided on the basis of religion, divided on the basis of culture, divided on the basis of race. These social groups are also given powers, or powers are also divided to them. And last of all, we have the powers which are given among the various political parties, interest groups or pressure groups, or the different movements which have taken place in the country. So you can have power sharing of how many types? 4 types. One is horizontal power sharing, another one is vertical power sharing, third one is the power sharing amongst the various social groups, and finally you have power sharing amongst the different political parties, pressure groups or movements. So whenever a question comes that how many forms of power sharings are there, you will have to write these 4 forms of power sharing. And if a question comes that why is power sharing desirable, or why do we need power sharing, then the 2 points which I have discussed just before this, you have to tell that. So with this, the chapter comes to an end. So after I complete my syllabus, as I have done for class 9 also, I will make you write the question and answers of the various chapters. Clear? Now if you have any question, you can ask me. If you have any questions, children, you can ask me. Ma'am, can you explain the horizontal type of power sharing? Yes, horizontal means amongst the different organs of the government. How many organs does the government have? Tell me, how many organs does the government have? How many organs does the government have? 3. Very good. 3. Yes. First one is the legislature, second one the executive, third one the judiciary. So the constitution of every country, you know, it clearly specifies that what should be the powers of the legislature, then powers of the executive, and then powers of the judiciary. As for example, the legislature, you know, has the power of law making, which will only make laws. Then next one is the turn of the executive. Now the laws which are made by the legislature, they are actually implemented. Implemented means executed by the executive. So that is executive's function, and later on comes the functions of the judiciary, that is to adjudicate the laws, which means that the laws which are made by the legislature or implemented by the executive, they are according to the constitution or not. This is actually horizontal power sharing. Clear?